Good morning, I'm Lauren Hall. It's coming up on 6:30, and here's a look what's ahead for you this half hour on Daybreak. It's back to school for even more students. One local district is launching a new app for parents to monitor their kids' location on the bus. Plus, it's down to 16. We're looking at the designs still standing in the competition to replace the Skyway. And later, Hurricane Dorian is taking aim at the Carolinas. Volunteers are heading down to help out, including some from our neighbors right here in Western New York.
From the station that's on your side, you're watching Channel 2's Daybreak.
Right now, a live look over the South Towns in Salamanca this morning. Even more districts are heading back to school. We want to welcome back West Seneca, Niagara Falls, and Batavia. Patrick, the weather is looking calmer today than yesterday for the kids at the bus stop this morning, right? New overnight, crews responded to a fire on the city's east side. It happened on Purdy Street between Esley and Lith around 4 this morning. Fortunately, everyone made it out safely. No word yet if anyone was hurt. This morning, we are digging deeper into Bishop Richard Malone's news conference, where the Catholic Diocese of Buffalo hand-picked which reporters could attend. The bishop told the cameras that he has no plans to step down in the wake of the ongoing sex abuse scandal within the church. This is in response to several more calls for him to resign, including one from Congressman Brian Higgins. The bishop also discussed the possibility of the diocese filing for bankruptcy, but those topics were not what he spent 15 minutes addressing yesterday.
The reason for the press conference, of course, is the taping of confidential senior staff meetings by my former priest secretary and vice chancellor of the diocese related to ongoing investigations of several individuals. Now, this relates to a very, very complex and convoluted matter that I want to explain to you personally.
That convoluted matter referred to a love letter from a priest to a seminarian and another priest's alleged harassment of that same seminarian. As for the future of the Buffalo Diocese, costs are already beginning to add up from payouts and other fees. Daybreak's Heather Lee joins us this morning with the details on that. Good morning, Heather. Thanks, Heather. There's a lot to process with this story. You can always find our full coverage as it unfolds on WGRZ.com and the 2 on Your Side app. It's 6:44 on Daybreak. We are in the one-year look-back window right now for sexual abuse victims under the Child Victims Act. Now, a similar protection is available for domestic violence victims. Governor Cuomo extended the statute of limitations for civil suits related to domestic assaults from 1 year to 2. That change takes effect immediately. It's 6:44 on Daybreak. This morning, a racist flyer has been circulating several Western New York communities. It claims the KKK will be at the Niagara County Peach Festival on Saturday. It's drawing a strong reaction on social media. The festival is set to begin today. Lewiston police say they are investigating comments people have made that could be seen as threatening.
It's distasteful. It's unpleasant. We don't agree with it. We don't like it. But the problem is you can't break the law and react. I can say those things to you, but I can't make threats against those people who have expressed that view. You just can't do it.
Police say at least 20 people received the racist flyer this week. They live in Lewiston, as well as North Tonawanda, Lockport, and the town of Porter. Officers haven't been able to figure out who mailed them. They're postmarked out of Rochester and don't have a return address. Today in Hamburg, the former police captain who was arrested earlier this year is due back in court. Christopher Monaco faces charges of harassment and hindering a police investigation. They were called to his house for a domestic disturbance in June. He could face more than a year in prison if he's convicted. Also today, the couple who admitted to abusing a dog in North Tonawanda will appear in court. Joseph Barwick and Dorothy Adama's emaciated dog Sam was found earlier this year. They pleaded guilty to animal cruelty charges. They could both face up to 1 year in prison when they're sentenced today. As for Sam, she was adopted by another family and is doing well. As more and more districts go back to school this week, Blue Cross Blue Shield is welcoming teachers back to their classrooms. Today, the healthcare provider will be making stops at schools around Western New York with giveaways for teachers. The goal is to help them get the year started on the right foot, just like their students. This month, Niagara County SPCA is launching a new initiative to get the community involved with saving dogs. It's called Sponsor a Cage. Sponsorships will pay for food, medicine, and overall care for the dogs. And once they're adopted, their sponsors will get a photo with the new family. You can find more information on the program through the SPCA's website. And tonight in Williamsville, Music on Main is back for a very special reason. We told you a few months ago about Michael DeSanto, the local musician who suffered a stroke in July. This week, Music on Main will serve as a fundraiser for him. You can stop by any of the 10 venues tonight and enjoy the music and support Michael's recovery. That's happening from 6 to 9 into tonight. Patrick's outside starting the day on the rooftop. This is the last Music on Main. They actually made it come back for an extra week just for Michael. I was there last week. It was a beautiful night out, Patrick, and it seemed like every single patio along Main Street was packed. So can we expect another nice night for the folks in Williamsville tonight? Thanks, Patrick. Coming up next on Daybreak, getting back into the school day routine can be tough, but we're trying to make it easier for you. We have 7 back-to-school lunch hacks straight ahead. Plus, something that we could have used during that heat wave earlier this summer, the newest invention that is going viral in Japan. It's 6:48 on Daybreak. One of the hardest parts about getting back into the back-to-school rhythm is keeping up with lunches. So this morning, we have you covered with a few tips. First, get your kids involved. Have a spot for parent-approved snacks or drinks that they can grab and add to their lunch boxes themselves. Also, ditch the ice packs. Just freeze your child's drink or snacks like yogurt. That'll keep everything else cold and they'll thaw in time for lunch. And no one likes a soggy sandwich, so the experts say to try this. For the classic PB&J, just put the jelly in between the peanut butter. And if your kid likes deli-style sandwiches, put everything between 2 thin layers of cheese to prevent everything in the middle from getting mushy. And if you have one of those kids that doesn't really like it when their food touches, try a bento box-style lunch. If you have any other tips, share them with us using the hashtag #BeOn2. Our back-to-school coverage continues all week long. It's trending this morning. While we are on the topic of back to school, look who went off to her first day of school yesterday. The Royals took Princess Charlotte to meet her teacher and get started, and we just can't get enough of the video. There's Prince William, Duchess Kate, and Prince George all walking her to the school in South London. Prince William says Charlotte will be known as Charlotte Cambridge to her teachers and schoolmates, and she is very excited for her first day. Well, here's something we really could have used during the heat wave a little bit earlier this summer. It is cooling people off in Japan in a whole new way. Check it out. It's called the Fan-brella. You hold it over your head for shade, of course, but inside there is a fan that cools you off from above, and it even has a water bottle so that you can mist yourself. It costs about $56. A PR person from the stores in Tokyo that sells it says it's been a big hit all summer. He said the store wants to manufacture a compact, foldable version in time for next year's Tokyo Olympics. And no shocker that we live in a gotta have it now society, and of course, now technology is being blamed for making us more impatient. Research from the pen company Bic shows in Britain, if people want to wait or have to wait for 16 seconds for a web page to load, they start to get antsy. The poll found 25 seconds at a traffic stop is just way too long, and don't mess with streaming shows. 22 seconds is all that it takes for people to get mad if they don't start playing by then. And that guy, I mean, I think we all can relate to him, Patrick, when your website won't load or your show won't start or you have to wait for that light. I mean, I think we all can relate.